You rappers get ignored, me, I'm who they checking for.
Hi, it's Princess, and welcome to my thumbnail tutorial video that I am finally doing. I'm really excited to share this with you guys because I really want to help y'all out in improving your thumbnails and the quality of your YouTube channel, because thumbnails really matter. Honestly, I've noticed that some of my videos that have better thumbnails than others have more views, and it's just people like pictures, people like things that look good, so thumbnails matter. And I was kind of self-taught with Photoshop. I watched a whole bunch of other different tutorials and took bits and pieces out of each one of them, so hopefully I can give you guys some of the advice that I've learned from the different tutorials that I've watched. I've also taken a whole bunch of like graphic design courses in high school, but personally they didn't really help me. I mean, they kind of helped me navigate through Photoshop a little bit easier, but they were all like, you can learn them online, okay? The only downside is I am using Photoshop. You know, that's what I have. That's what I always use to make thumbnails. But I know that a lot of people do not have Photoshop. And if you don't have Photoshop already, DM me on either Twitter, Discord, Instagram, Snapchat. It will all be linked in the description. I made my Snapchat public, by the way. Add me on Snapchat. And I will teach you guys how to get it for free. Trust me, okay? I got this for free. Who the hell pays for any Adobe programs anymore? Okay, anyway. The first thing you guys are going to want to do is create a new file, obviously. So we're going to click File and then New. And let's go ahead and name this Thumbnail Tutorial. My keyboard is super loud, by the way, so apologies in advance. And you guys are going to want to copy everything that's on the screen here. So the width and the height of the file is going to be 1280 by 720 pixels, and the resolution is going to be 300 pixels, and the background contents you're going to want to make it transparent. Everything else you can just leave it to like the default, and you're going to press OK. So here we go. We have our canvas. Now we can start getting to work. By the way, my zooming in and out, I'm going to be doing this a lot. I'm pressing Alt and I'm doing the scroll wheel thing. That's what I'm doing, the zoom in and out. All right, anyway. The next thing you're going to want to do is either find a background color or a background picture. But because I'm showing you guys how I make my thumbnails, and because I usually use background pictures, I'm going to show you guys what to do if you're using a background picture. So the website that I use is Pixabay. If you guys aren't already using Pixabay, get on that. What are you doing? The link will be in the description. Pixabay is a website that has a whole bunch of free images and videos that you can use. It is non-copyright. And there's a whole bunch of different things that you can select from and stuff. I usually go to nature and landscapes. I cannot. One tip that I have for you guys when you are making or finding a picture for your thumbnail is lighter is better. It attracts more people. So something like this will attract someone because it's very bright, but you do have this dark cast on the bottom. So you might want to find something a little lighter. I don't know. You can also filter the colors to like any of these. I like going with pink because pink is really pretty. Like this one here is really pretty. That's really nice. So is this one. I also really like this one. But anyway, here is Pixabay. Whole bunch of amazing pictures that you can use. I've already selected a photo, and I'm going to be going with this one. I don't know. I like the color of it. It's very light. It looks completely white up here, but it's not. So it's really nice. So that's the picture that we're going to be using for this thumbnail. So we're going to go ahead and place that picture in here. And let's just make this the same size as the canvas there. Let's make the light part the biggest part of the thumbnail. So now that we have the picture, I'm just going to rasterize this layer so I can, you know, do stuff to it. So next what we're going to do is we're going to blur this image. So we're going to go to Filter, Blur, and we're going to pick this blur right here. This is like one of the best blurs in my opinion. You can go ahead and play with how blurred you want it to be. Usually I just go with 4, however, so we're going to stick with 4, and then you're going to press OK. Next we're going to create a new layer. And what I usually do is I create a darker box on the inside. So let me just make a rectangle. I don't know how much I want it to be. I'm going to just create a random shape and we'll mess with it later. Blending options to change the color, color overlay, and boom, I'm gonna make it black. So let me just kind of make this a little bit even here. Okay, that's not too bad. That's pretty good, honestly. I don't know, I'm kind of just working off what I see. And then next, you're going to turn the opacity down a little bit. Let me remove the transformation things. You're gonna put this opacity, I think I usually keep it at like 25-ish, so I think that's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's usually what I use. So after you've placed your little rectangle thing, I think it just defines the thumbnail. Personally, you kind of have a little border here without kind of making a border. I don't know. I like the definition that it gives to the thumbnail. So what I usually do next, create a new layer. I add a gradient to the picture. I have a whole bunch of like gradients that I got from a pack, but it's not hard to make your own gradient. So let's just say that this color theme of the thumbnail is going to be like a purplish. Sure, whatever. It kind of already looks purple, so that won't be hard. So this is probably your default gradient. You're going to want to click that, and let's get a light purple, maybe like a pastel. Let me get more of a lilac or a lavender maybe, and we can keep the other side white. And then you're gonna just want to place it on the picture there, and then set the gradient to no, you're gonna turn down the opacity to, let me see, maybe 50, and then set it to overlay. Boom. So there is, oh my god, there is your gradient on the picture. I think it just adds more color to it. You can see without it, I kind of like it with it because it makes it look lighter, and then it adds that purple effect. I think it looks really good. But of course, all of these, the picture, like the gradient, it really depends on what the theme of your video is. So if it's like my rave video, for example, that was a lot darker because raves are in, you know, nightclubs and stuff, so it wouldn't be this pastel purpley color, but I just like it, so that's what we're gonna stick with today. Next, what you want to do is you want to add the sim to your thumbnail. I mean, that is if you're making a sim thumbnail. Of course, you don't have to make a sim thumbnail, but hey, for the sake of this thumbnail, we're putting a sim in. So this is just a random sim that I made. I took a screenshot of her while she was doing a pose. So the easiest way to get rid of this white background is to select the quick selection tool right here, and then just drag it. Just drag it, and if you get anything that's like cut out, like these flowers that are right here, you're gonna hold down Alt, and then you're going to just click the parts that you want to add back. And there you go. If it looks kind of messy, don't even worry about that. There will be like a white outline, but we will fix that later, so don't worry about it for now. You don't even need to worry about these parts for now because of the way that we're going to position her on the thumbnail. But after everything is cut out and you see these dotted lines here, you're just going to click delete and then drag her right onto the thumbnail there, and boom, there she is. So you do see that there is some jagged edges, but we will fix that up a little bit later. But for now, we're going to make her a little bit bigger. If you guys do notice, when she is too small, let me just move her back a little bit. If she's too small and you're zoomed out like this, you can't see her like at all. I mean, you see the shirt and stuff, but you aren't seeing what you're getting into. You know, you want to see that the sim is cute before you click on the video, right? So I recommend getting maybe like from the chest up. I think this is a good... This is a pretty good size for the sim. And if you need to, you could also, you know, move her to the side a little bit. You could put her in the middle. You can honestly do whatever the hell you want to her, but I usually put them at the right side, so that's what I'm going to do for this tutorial. Alright, so next let's mess around with the sim a little bit more. So I would right click the sim layer and then click blending options. So the first thing that I usually do is I add a soft light to get rid of all these jagged yellow, I said yellow, all these jagged white edges that are around her. So hello, soft light, where are you? Wait, not soft light, I said soft light. We're gonna click outer glow. That's what we're gonna do. And then I changed the glow color to white because it is a white outline. It really depends on the background of your Create-A-Sim. Whatever the background of your Create-A-Sim is, you're probably going to want to change your color to that. And then you're going to make the size of it a little bit bigger to soften up those edges and to make sure it doesn't look jagged. Also, you're going to want to change the blend mode to screen, opacity to 75, and keep the noise at 0, the spread at 0, and you can mess around with the size however big that you want, but I think this is a good size right around here. I change it for every single video so I don't stick to one size all the time, but you know, it's really personal preference. Next thing you're going to want to do is go to gradient overlay, and you're going to want to change the blend mode to overlay, opacity to 44 or 50, it really doesn't matter. This gradient, you're going to want to make sure it's the black and white gradient. I'm pretty sure that's already a default gradient that's there. The style is linear, align with layer, and then you're going to want to change the angle so that it's lined up with her face. So if you see, it changed where the white part is. It made it, you know, her face lighter, and then it makes the bottom of her body a little bit darker. So it just kind of emphasizes the face a little bit more, and it makes it a little brighter, so it's a little bit easier to see. If you need to brighten it any more, you can also go to inner glow and have the overlay blend mode on again, and kind of just, I don't know, adjust the size of it. You can see that the hair is getting a little bit lighter and such. That just makes it a little bit lighter if you do need to brighten her any more than she already is. And then finally, we're gonna click color overlay, and I usually like to match what the theme of the thumbnail is. So this one is like a lavender-ish. So let me just kind of get that. All right, that's not even really lavender. Okay, let me go to the purplish that we selected for the gradient, like right around here. And then what you're gonna want to do is, I think it was soft light. Yeah, it was soft light. And then let's put this to like 20. Yeah, that's not too bad. So after all of that, you're gonna click OK, and let me just show you guys before and after. So I think that just looks so much better. It literally makes her glow, and it's just easier to see from far away. If she's too bright or anything, you could also, you know, always remove the inner glow and stuff like that. But I do really like the way she looks. All right, so after this, you will be adding the text if there is any text. All right, so we got our text here. To make the text a little bit bigger without kind of screwing up, you know, this whole thing, making it look like how it doesn't originally look like, if you know what I mean. You gotta hold down shift, and then you can, you know, resize it without messing around with how the original font looks like. Same thing with the sim, by the way. I should have said that a little earlier. But the size of the thumbnail really matters, or the size of the font really matters, because people want to be able to read what you're gonna say. So let me go ahead and just change the color of the font to white real quick. So I just did the blending options again, and then the color overlay, and it is white. And then I'm going to add a drop shadow to it so you can see the font a little bit easier. So the blend mode is going to be multiply, opacity is going to be 75, the angle, it doesn't really matter. Nothing else really matters. I mean, I would not recommend you put on spread, distance maybe 5, and then the size, I kind of always mess around with it depending on the background picture. But I'm going to keep it a little bit small today, so we're going to only keep it for 10. And let me see how this looks from far away. It's kind of hard to see, so let me move her over just a teensy bit, and let me make the font a little bit bigger, but not too big. I'm going to also put the font behind the sim. You should always put the text behind the sim, by the way, in my opinion. I mean, if you're going to do it like this. Obviously, if you have a font at the bottom or something, then you can have the text in front of the sim, but for this, I'm going to keep it behind the sim. So I think this is pretty big, but you also can't really see the L, so I'm just gonna move it in just a tad. All right, I think that's pretty good. So now that we have the font here, it's literally the rest of what you want to do to the font is up to you. Some people, they add, you know, you can add a circle background to it. Let me just show you guys what that might look like. You can add a circle background of whatever color, and I don't know. Let's make it color overlay. Let's make it black. All right, and maybe choose like a stroke, maybe make the stroke white. You know what I mean? You could just mess around literally with whatever you think looks good. I personally don't think that looks good right now. So I'm gonna put like 2 lines at the top and at the bottom. All I need to do is click File and Place, and then place that flower line right at the bottom of there. And then let's duplicate that. Hold down Shift so you can't move it anywhere else except for up and down. And, you know, kind of keep the symmetry happening. And then move that one over there. Let me move the bottom one down just a tiny bit more. I think that's pretty cute. Also, let me change the color overlay to white so you can see it a little bit more. This one is a little bit hard to see. As you can see, the white one versus the one that's colored. So that's why I usually like to kind of put a color overlay on everything and just make everything white. So it's just a little bit easier to see, as you can see it there. So that is kind of the base of the thumbnail. Alrighty guys, so that's basically it. I'm like gonna be totally honest that it was really easy. That's kind of all there is to it. I mean, if you want to add anything else to kind of make it look a little more, you know, flashy, change around the colors a little bit more, make it look a little bit more vibrant, I'd recommend clicking this symbol right at the bottom down here and go to gradient map. We're gonna just turn up the contrast a little bit. We're going to select this gradient right here, select OK, and then right here we're going to select hard light. So as you can see, it makes it so that the contrast is a lot darker. And then let's I don't know, we can mess around with the opacity and how much we want it. I'm going to keep it at 25. Let's see a before and after. So that gives it a lot of contrast. I personally kind of like it, so I'm going to keep it. I also like to mess around with the vibrance because sometimes I think things look a little pale. So the vibrance kind of just turns the saturation up and down, as you can see from like that. So I'm going to move it up a little bit like that. Maybe some saturation a little bit like that. And let's turn that on and off to see what that does. You can't really see it. I mean, I can probably see it. I can see it, definitely. But you guys probably can't really see it. But I think that makes it look a little bit better. It gives a little more pigment to her skin. And it just doesn't look as bland. So that's pretty much it. There is a whole bunch of stuff over here that you can add. There's like photo filters and stuff like that. I mean, hey, there's so much that you can do with Photoshop. But this is what I usually do to my thumbnails. Easy peasy. And yeah, that's honestly it, guys. So I hope this tutorial helped you. I really enjoyed making this tutorial for you guys. I hope that I can inspire you to use, you know, some of my methods, but use it on your own thumbnails, you know what I mean? And I hope I helped you in any kind of way. It'll make me feel good inside knowing that I did. But anyway, guys, please like the video if you did enjoy, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!